are live. We are live. And I am praying that we don't have technical difficulties today. We are having experiencing lots of storms here in Georgia today, but it is not storming in here on book club. And so you know what today is. Today is Monday, and on Mondays, all roads lead to book club. So listen, as you're logging on, let me know what city, what state, and or what country you might be logging in from. You guys, I'm trying to control the features as well as run the book club as well. We wanted to make sure that this goes through clear. We don't know what goes on with the mics sometimes, and because it is storming here today, we want to make sure that this is crisp and clear. So what I need you to do is, you see it on the screen, I need you to put those hashtags in the comments: booktube, Goodreads, book talk. Put it in the comments, light the chat up. Let us know where you're logging in from, what city, what state, what country, and make sure that you're sending this link to someone. Send it to someone and say, hey, listen, join this free book club. You don't even need the book. Here's the link. You can listen in. If you're driving, keep your eyes on the road, okay? But we're excited that you made a decision to be here. So book club is so important because leaders are readers. And if we have a desire to elevate our lives, our businesses, our relationships, whatever the case may be, it is all going to begin by reading books. Personal development is a must. It's at the top of the list. All right. And then, because we're never going to earn more than we learn, we will never, ever earn more than we learn. And then last but not least, because these are not in order of importance, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And so every single Monday, I am here to fill your cup. What's so cool about the Queen's Court Book Club, and you don't have to be a female to be here either, right? The Queen's Court Book Club is that you don't even need the book. You don't need the book. I'm going to read this for you, to you, with you, right? And we're going to stop. We're going to take some time to really, really dive through, and we're investing time in understanding the book. Now, I have a gift, and the gift that I have is to help you to understand the mind of the author. That is the gift that I have been given. I didn't even realize I had that gift until about 5 years ago when I started book club during the pandemic. Right, we started book club, so almost 6 years now. We started the book club during the pandemic, the plandemic. I guess I'm going to watch what I say. All right, so we are currently reading the Motivation Manifesto by BRENDON, the 9 declarations to claim your personal power. And today we start declaration number 7. We shall amplify love. Declaration number 7, we shall amplify love. Someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then, for a second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire. Man will have discovered fire. So again, if this is your first time joining on to this book club, hit a 1 in the comments. If you're here every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, let me see your 2 in the comments. And don't forget to put those hashtags in the comments, and also let us know where you are logging in from, what city, what state, and or what country. So there is no beauty in the world more perfect, more awe-inspiring, more human and transfixing than unfiltered, unashamed love. We are at our finest when we give and live in love. I love that. We are at our finest when we give and live in love, and at our worst when we hoard it, when we deny it, or choke it out of existence. Love, like nothing else, can make us soar to our highest heights or suffer our deepest lows. So I think we really ought to stop for a moment, pause, put a pause, and we need to define what the word love means. What does the word love mean? All right, so let me go ahead. We are going to define the word love. Give me 1 second. We're going to look up the definition. What is the definition of love? Okay, let's see what the Bible, what the dictionary says about what the word love is. Love, listen, is an intense feeling of deep affection. Love is a great interest and pleasure in something. All right. So love says it's an intense feeling of deep affection. A person or a thing that one loves, a great interest or pleasure in something. Um, what else do we have? Feel deeply, to like or enjoy very much. Now, I'll tell y'all something. I believe that love is a choice, not a feeling, because we use that word so loosely. Love, I'm in love with somebody. So what happens then? Do you fall out of love with somebody? I think love is a choice. I think that we choose to love people beyond, regardless of their flaws, when we realize that every single one of us have them. Now, there are some character flaws and traits that are so disturbing that maybe you don't want it around you. And that is a great choice, right? That's our choice. However, because all of our stuff stink, we love people through their idiosyncrasies. We love people through their flaws, because all of us have them. Me, all of us have them. Okay. And so love, deep, intense feeling, emotion, blah, because the reality of it is our emotions vacillate. And because our emotions vacillate, I believe that we have to choose to be committed to loving someone, whether it's our spouse, our family, and or the people that we call our friends. My friend circle is very, very small. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. And the more successful you are, you realize that you have less and less and less friends. All right. So, in the moments defined by the presence of love, we touch the face of our highest self and the divine. To stand emotionally open before the world, whoo, to stand emotionally open before the world and give without fear of hurt, attachment, or demand of reciprocity. Can you love? Can you love without the demand of reciprocity? Can you love someone who doesn't love you back? This is the ultimate act of human courage. This is the ultimate experience of personal freedom. Love is the origin and our final destination. Y'all type in the word love, because this is fitting to be good, right? Love. Type in the word love. Love is our origin and our final destination. Our spirit was animated by the loving energy of a higher power. And as we release our last breath, our spirits will dissipate back into that love, the love of the Father, the perfect love. Agape love, back to the Father. When we are no longer here, our spirits go back to Him, right? With love's transcendent power, we can be reborn and redirected. So love can help us to be reborn and redirected. You know, I think about the fact that there are so many times we are afraid to help a person see beyond where they are. But when we truly love a person, when we truly love people, we'll give them some space. It's funny because a friend of mine and I were speaking about this just yesterday. You give people the space that they need because God has to deal with people in their own way, but you don't let them stay there in a dark place, in a lost place too long. When you really love someone, you go and get them. You go and grab them and you say, wake up, shake it off, shake this off. Wake up, because you cannot, if you really truly love someone, you don't leave somebody in a dark space. You don't leave someone in a lost place. You don't leave them there. Now, sometimes you got to let them for a moment kind of find their way, grieve, do whatever those things may encompass. But when it comes down to it, when you really love someone, when you really truly love someone, with love's transcendent power, we can be reborn and redirected. Sometimes people need to be redirected. And when you love someone, you go and redirect them so that they can snap out of whatever place that they might be in. All right, y'all got that? So when we ready ourselves for our ultimate destiny, when we release our childish, selfish needs and realign our priorities to those of the heart, we can finally reach those magnificent fields of human empathy, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, generosity, and courage. We must stop pretending that there is not enough love in the world to give or receive. As those as though, sorry, as though love can somehow be diminished or squandered by human force. Love is a divine energy, always present, accessible, flowing. If we accept this much, we can go further. We can let go of past hurts. Let it go. Let's comment, let it go. Let it go. Let go of past hurts, for they have nothing to do with the reality of love itself. Hello? The reality of it is sometimes we get hurt because we make the wrong choices. Sometimes we get hurt because we hold on too long. And oftentimes it requires for it to hurt for us to let it or them go. Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get an amen? I know that I can. I know I can get a whoop whoop and an amen in them comments. That we hold on out of loyalty, out of stupidity sometimes, out of the need to feel needed or wanted. And we hold on to things and people and situations and environments that are super toxic for many years, months, weeks, way too long past when we know we should have walked away. So we must stop pretending that there's not enough love, right? We can let it go if the past hurts, for they have nothing to do with the reality of love itself. And we can stop playing our petty games, slowly pacing the release of our love to the world only when it feels safe. It is not, that is a petty game, the book says. Love is a divine energy, always present, accessible, flowing. If we accept this much, we can go further. We can let go of past hurts, for they have nothing to do with the reality of love itself. And when we can stop playing our petty games, slowly pacing the release of our love to the world only when it feels safe. Limiting how much love we give to others because we fear lack is an act of cowardice, not divine strength. And so let us now sense love anew from a different divine perspective. Let us feel its abundance and let us emanate through us in its full force so that we might soar and serve at levels beyond human imagination. Let us declare that we shall amplify love. Life's animating energy. The desire to love and to be loved is one of the most animated energies. To be loved, to be loved, to be loved. Y'all remember that? Like everything boils down to I want to be loved. I want to be loved. I want to be loved by you, and nobody else but you. Oh, come on. God forbid if anything was to happen and you were not with the person that you are with today. Hello? Do you want to stop loving? We were created to love and to be loved and to give love. All of our desires, all of our meaningful hopes and dreams rest on and return again and again to love. Nothing remarkable in our personal growth can be achieved without opening to love and unleashing its joyful fire into the world. Life's greatest victories are won on the fields of love. Yet we often block this divine energy, look to our long line of failures in matters of the heart. We block this emotion. We block this divine energy. The hurt and miserable souls torn by sorrow who haven't the courage to love again. The moros, masses who have resigned themselves to the myth that there is nothing left to feel. No new level of love to activate or draw from their relationships. The broken thugs who take the lives of others because they lack the courage to give or ask for more love. The oblivious leaders who cannot grasp that caring and compassion are the best tools for shaping people's hurts and minds. The sadness wanderers who have caged their hearts from others yet who prostitute themselves to feel connected and accepted in some way, to have a tiny sense of the part they have so fearfully locked away. The passionless marriages and the doubtful lovers, the bitter and the broken who feel that love was stripped away and forever stolen from them. The pacing and the metering of how we release love as if it were a finite resource that could be used up. Look closer still to how we tune out the better angles of our nature and ignore our loved ones' request for us to be more present, more caring and empathetic, someone more loving. We not become hardened by such gross heartache and neglect. We begin by recasting our conception of love itself. Despite yesterday's tragedy or today's pain, we must sense and amplify love anew. This time with more of us in play. This time with greater force and depth. Surely we are aware that more love is in itself a good thing, that opening ourselves more to love is akin to opening life's secret treasures, that more love makes us more empathetic, connected, and influential with others. Love is a practical tool for bettering our lives. If we are loving to those around us, then we create the conditions for a positive environment and deeply fulfilling emotional and social life. Let us make that our aim. Let us make that our aim, and let us declare that we shall amplify love. We shall amplify it. So then we are dealing with now the closing of the heart, because there are so many times things happen in us, to us, through us, for us. And I believe that everything that happens doesn't happen to us. It really happens for us. And sometimes it happens because we wouldn't let go when we were told. But we can't close off our heart. So the closing of the heart. Why is love so tragically absent from so many lives? Because it's tragically absent. Why is the courage to love openly, faithfully, and without measure such a feared premise? We were born a vessel flowing with authentic and abundant love. Then things changed. We weren't cared for the way we might have been. We didn't get the attention that we craved. Someone pointed at us, judged us, ridiculed us, rejected us, and sometimes that comes from your very own family. Callous words and selfish acts left us sad and scared. We were burned, crushed, embarrassed, shamed, and smothered by cruel intentions and warped forms of selfish love. And so we began the long, steady, hard work of closing off our hearts, protecting our soul's light, building a high wall around what we are capable of feeling and giving. Soon we allowed only a few people, those who we deemed safe, to peer above this thick, cold, impenetrable wall. And even to those chosen few, we offered only piecemeal glimpses, of what we really had to give. So because we've been hurt in other areas, now we don't want to give our all. And some of you aren't thriving where you are right now in life, in business, in your relationships and things like that, because you've been hurt before. And so because you've been hurt before, you don't want to give your all in this new situation, in this new business, in this new, because you are, or maybe you were hurt, maybe not in business, you were hurt in some other, maybe on your job. Maybe you got let go of, and maybe now there's that blockage that's back there. You were fired, you were terminated, and I've been terminated before too, right? In my profession now, network marketing, for no reason. Literally just couldn't log in, money snatched, money stole. What if I decided, well, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm done with it, because ain't nobody ever gonna have the chance to do that to me again. What? So do I not continue to be who God called me to be because someone else had some moral character issues? Because someone else lacked integrity? No. Someone else lacked integrity. Someone else had moral issues, but that doesn't change who I am. I'm not going to withhold my gift from the world because someone else had some moral character, spiritual issues. That's the way you got to look at it. And what lesson, Lord, can I learn from that? Did that have to happen that way to push me out of my comfort zone? Could it be that I had to be disconnected from those people? Because maybe there was something that was going to be going on later down the pike that I need to be connected to. Can you see how all of these things could be? So we begin by recasting our, so where are we at? How do we, let's look closer. We tune into a better angles of our, where am I? I don't know why it felt like, oh, the closing of the heart. Okay. So here we go. We were burned, crushed, embarrassed, shamed, and smothered by cruel intentions and warped forms of selfish life as we began to long, steady, hard work of closing off our hearts, protecting our soul's light, building a high wall around what we are capable of feeling and giving. So could it be that you're not giving your all to what you're involved in right now because you have built a high wall? Soon we allowed only a few people, those we deemed safe, to peer above this thick, cold, impenetrable wall. And even though to those chosen few, we offered only piecemeal glimpses of what we really had to give, measuring out how much we would show them, how much we would allow our hearts to light up for them, when and if at all we would give ourselves permission to say life's three most important words. It is how it goes. It is how it goes. We measure out the giving and the receiving of love, and it makes us suffer so. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Over time, the wall of protection had become so impervious and so forbidding that it has blocked out the one thing the ball was built to protect, and that is love. The tragedy of humanity's great walling off of love is that the construction began and was laid haphazardly in fits and starts and terrible spurts of immature confusion. And by the time we hit adolescence, we became driven by a mass hysteria that said, protect your heart. And we began to believe falsely that love itself had enemies. We let the slings and the arrows from others hit our heart, and we felt that love was somehow diminished or damaged. We were swept into a collective unconsciousness that believed that hurt has something or anything to do with love at all. And for this, too many have drowned in needless misery. Hurt has nothing to do with love. And love is unaffiliated with and unaffected by pain. We say my heart is full of love, but love is not bound in our heart or our relationships, and thus it is not caged and capable of being poked, taunted, or trapped. Whoo! And no amount of love, no matter the pain or the hurt, is ever lost. No amount of love, no matter the pain or the hurt, is ever lost. So, in no amount of love, no matter the pain or the hurt, is ever lost. Love is not confined to the human heart and thus cannot be held in or out. It is our lack of this awareness that has made us at first seek to protect love and then to limit its release with such fear. We believe it to be a finite thing that we own and we can lose. We think it is scarce, delicate, but we are wrong. And this fallacy is what makes life lose its color. It's what rips away the joy, the connection, and the sacredness of life. Let me tell y'all something. This just blessed me so. Hurt has nothing to do with love, and love is unaffiliated with and unaffected by pain. We say that my heart is full of love, but love is not bound in our heart or our relationships, and thus it is not caged and capable of being poked, taunted, or trapped. And no amount of love, no matter the pain or the hurt, is ever lost. It's never lost. We learn. And so have we been in situations that have hurt us? Yes, but that does not demean love. The love is still present because it's present in us. That person just wasn't a good person, and we allowed that person or those people or that thing into our life and into our space, but that was for a season. Come on, this is so good. Love is divine. It is a spiritual energy that is at this very moment flowing through the universe, through us, through our enemies, our family, our coworkers, and 7 billion plus strangers. There is no limit to it, and it cannot be bottled or protected. It exists everywhere, freely, abundantly, and constantly. Let us be transformed by this knowledge that love was never absent from our life. I want us to type that in the comments. Love was never absent from our life. Love is never lost. Woo! Love is never lost. No pain, no matter the pain or the hurt, love is never lost. Love is never absent from our life. Love didn't leave us. It didn't go anywhere. It was never less present for us to access or experience. It was and continues to be ever present all around us. We simply allowed our awareness of it to diminish. The only question now is how well we serve our destiny in opening up to love and giving it permission to flow. Let me explain something to you. For years, we had some people that were connected to us, and every person around us kept saying, that ain't gonna end good. You need to get rid of that. You need to separate yourself. You need to put distance. You need to this. They ain't good for you. It's not a good look. Blah, 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 blah. And we continued because we just was like, oh, we just love, 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 love. Stupidity. The writing was clear on the wall, but we kept running back to it like a dog running back to its vomit, keep allowing that the thing in our space, right? Allowing it in our lives, only for it to blow up, and it had to hurt for us to let go. So is it really that those people were at fault? No, they were being who they were. We didn't heed the warning. I'm not stuck. We didn't heed the warning. So were you warned and you didn't heed the warning? You kept on going back, thinking you were being loyal, thinking you were loving, thinking you were what? Being a good old Christian. When in all actuality, we were acting out of stupidity because the writing was on the wall. And now we bound and hurt, and it took I had to let it go, and I had to grieve, and I had to this, and I had to that, all because we was too stupid to let go of something that clearly the writing was on the wall. The Lord gave us ample enough time, several times, to let it go, and we didn't. We simply allowed our awareness of it to diminish. The only question now is how we will serve our destiny in opening up to love and giving it permission to flow. We have to now give love permission to flow. How good and pure a vessel can we be for others in holding the space for love? How strong an amplifier can we be for love? How maturely will we use its unifying energy to complete us, lift us, and unite us? Because love can complete us, lift us, and unite us. Love can complete us, lift us, and unite us. Our ability to serve this destiny is compromised only by the amount of hurt we have attached to the notion of love. We may have been hurt in our childhood, in our adolescence, in our career, in our relationships. People were nasty to us. They took advantage of us. They were selfish and broke our trust and our hurt and our heart. But we must remind ourselves that misfortune had nothing whatsoever to do with love. And if these feelings of sadness, pain, hurt, shame, regret, or heartbreak have darkened the meaning of love, we must now strip away the darkness with the light of truth. Type into the comments right now, with the light of truth. Whoa, this is so good. We need not doubt the pain we felt in the past. There was pain. That's not what we're saying. Yet a loving fate depends on our discovering that pain has nothing to do with love, and that the time for rekindling past hurts and living from the motive of fear has run out. So now we are in block mode because that situation literally almost took me under. Them people almost took me under. We allowed it. We allowed it. We allowed it because when we got the signals, when God gave us the signs, when they showed themselves to be human, when they showed themselves that what? We continue to stay. We continue to allow them in our space. We continue. So there was something wrong with us, not them. They were being who they were. The pain we felt is no longer relevant or cosmically present. If this can be accepted, or understanding of love unbound. If this can be accepted, our understanding, of love can be unbound. Is there anybody watching right now that's ready for your love to be unbound, so that you can flourish again, so that you can grow again, so that you can love again, so that you can be bountiful again, so that you can be creative again, so that you can lead again? It needs to be unbound. As human, and you make that choice. There's no thing that has to happen. Y'all stop it. The room doesn't have to levitate. You don't have to levitate. The thunder doesn't have to crack. Lightning doesn't have to strike. You can make a choice right now to be unbound. If you're ready to be unbound, go on and type in the words unbound. Loose me, Lord. As humans capable of vision and choice and will, we must acknowledge that anything of the past is the past. Type it in. The past is the past. 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 The sour feelings and negativity of yesterday needn't be our choices ever again. That the pain in our past is no longer present unless we choose to make it so. It must be our intent now as mature adults that any pain of the past shall have nothing to do with the reality of love in this moment. Love didn't feel those arrows. We did. It is not love's fault or the fault of the poor souls now receiving our love at half measure that we choose to pull those arrows from our heart and fling them at our conception of love, because we now half acting. So this chapter is almost done. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just finish reading this chapter, and we're gonna start on 8 next week. Is that okay? The only way through the pain and the hurt is love. The only way through the pain and the hurt is love. The surest route from suffering always begins at the trailhead ahead of love. Let us realize that the walls of protection that we constructed were needles. They protected nothing but perhaps our own bruised ego, since love itself was never capable of being corralled. Even had that been possible, our high barricades may have kept out the villainous, but only at the expense of also keeping out the angels and lovers. All we have done is block love from flowing freely and abundantly in and out of our lives. It is in our self-protection that we often block the very thing that we desire. It is in our self-protection that we often block the very thing that we desire. It is in our self-protection that we often block the very thing that we desire. Once more, it's worth repeating our diminished concept of love that has nothing to do with the real thing. Love remains divine. Love remains ever present. Love remains all around us. Love remains abundant. Love remains flowing, accessible now as ever. It is incapable of diminishment except in our own mind. There was never a time when love was not there for the giving and the taking. And there will never be a moment when love has any more potential to heal and nurture than in this moment. So do not fear that one day it will be gone. Love does not ebb in strength over time. It was always and will always be the ever-present unifying force shaping the universe and humankind. To open up to the love once more, we must act on this knowledge. It was I who diminished love and let go of the notion that others must right their past wrongs. They don't got to right their wrongs. They don't have to right their wrongs at all. We don't need them to do anything. We need to let them go and realize that it has nothing to do with love. We must stop rekindling our resenting ancient hurts. Let it go. Type in the comments right now. Let it go. 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 It's ancient. It's old. It's done. There can be no discovery of fire or treasure there. We have no injuries to avenge. Now, let us bind up the wounds of yesterday and set them in the ocean of love. Let it go. Let no false metal constructs remain about how our love was diminished or broken. Let us finally recast love not as something we have, but as something that exists independently and abundantly in the world, regardless of our own inadequacies or others' selfishness. And then we break through. All breakthroughs in life are merely letting through higher energy, in most cases, that of love. When we tear down the walls of worry and hurt, the bright beams of love may once more shine in and through us. It often only takes a small ray of love from another to burn a permanent hole in the armor of sadness and negativity around our heart. Released from our confines, no longer hunched in pain, we can stand erect with open eyes, free to sense once more the divine loving energy in others, no matter how buried they may be by their own fear or hurt. With this recognition, life lights up once more. The full color spectrum returns to our emotional sky, and from within burns a divine fire to care again, connect again, to live again, to care again, connect again, to live again. We can look past the faults of our brothers and sisters and love them. We can have compassion for an impatient spouse. We can find understanding for a struggling coworker. We can love all humanity once more. The hardened cynic will predictably cast aside this talk of love's rebirth and redirection. And as long as he does, he will keep himself forever weak, puny, and incapable of any real power or contribution. For as he casts aside love, he loses the ultimate tool for personal transcendence, social good, and influence. Whoa, this is powerful. Only misery comes to those who criticize the power of love. And they shall soon cast aside themselves as unwanted and irrelevant, blind and brutish relics of time gone by, in which humanity was trapped in its own fear. Let it go. With love resonating through our souls, we are capable of energizing and enlivening those around us with startling power. This energy makes us beautiful to all, even to those who are so concerned with themselves that they can barely see what is right in front of them. Often I hear people say, I just been trying to figure out, what it is that I really want to do. We can't even let go of what was, and we talking about trying to figure out what we really want to do. When what you really want to do, it's right there in front of you. And you know what I learned? So I've been a part of network marketing now since 2008, but became a professional in 2014. And I paid my dues to this industry, more than 10,000 hours. And I kept saying, I just got to figure out what it is that I want to do. When everything that I'm doing now has come because I perfected my craft through network marketing. I didn't try to go figure out what I need to do outside of it. No, put your 10,000 hours in, perfect your craft, and everything else you need to do is going to come because the doors are going to open. But because you won't go all in and perfect the craft where you are, now you're looking for something external that will come if you perfect the craft. Somebody's going to catch that. Oh, somebody's going to catch that. Somebody's going to catch that. With love resonating through our souls, this energy makes us beautiful to all, even to those who are so concerned with themselves that they can barely see what is right in front of them. This energy gives us access to every power that humans have to create connection with one another. Caring, patience, thoughtfulness, kindness, compassion, and even empathy. It also gives us the charge to lead, activating within us the one virtue needed to unify humankind, which is the courage of the heart. This is so good. If you're enjoying this, let me see some hearts in them comments, right? Put a heart. If you can't put a heart, type a 1111111. When and how will we give ourselves permission to fully love others and ourselves? When and how will you give others permission to fully love others and ourselves? Immediately and without condition. Does this mean that we must trust others instantly? No. No. To transmit love to one another, trust is not required. We can love a criminal or a miscreant. We need to not trust them, but as fellow humans and children of God, we can recognize their divinity, even though they are not choosing to sense or express it. Even if they are attempting to corrupt the incorruptible, all beings come from love, have love in them, and will return to love, even if they are unaware or cruel in their behavior. Avoidance of this truth only permits indifference and hatred to arise. Surely, trust is needed in relationships. Someone must win our commitment to intimate or romantic love, but to deserve a loving energy from us, one needn't do a thing. Love is not deserved by anyone or reserved for only a few. The divine hand gives freely to all. Must we then accept and respect the choices and behaviors of all? No. No. We can seek to reject, reform, and even punish others for their wrongs. Yet while we do, we can still intend love for them. For we needn't lessen ourselves or compromise our role as love beings just because we must deal with bad behavior. We can punish a selfish and callous child without becoming selfish or callous. We can help a prisoner gain basic human rights and find a love within, even if we do not condone his behavior. We can forgive those who trespass against us without giving them our power. What this means is that we can have a divine intent for everyone we meet, whether or not they deserve it, have asked for it, or will reciprocate it. There can be an emanating love that comes from us regardless of another's intent or behavior. We can release a magnificent spiritual power through our eyes and gestures towards everyone while expecting no return whatsoever. We can unleash our love into the world for no other reason than because it's our nature to do so. Love, like any virtue, must be a conscious affair, willed forth, chosen from among all the angelic and wretched impulses available at any moment in the human condition. And to ascend to greatness and become generous with love, we must be aware of our own weakness and propensity for evil. By never forgetting that we can teeter into darkness and can remember to look for the light, by remembering the dangers of cruelty, we must will ourselves to be compassionate and loving. We must will ourselves to be compassionate and loving, not stupid, but compassionate and loving. We are not angels, we are humans, but let us nonetheless try to rise to a higher plane. To sense and to amplify love, we do not need love ourselves. Woo! We can love. It doesn't matter whether somebody's loved us. Though let that be our goal as well. This popular fantasy that we must first love ourselves before loving others serves no one. For it merely gives us permission to await a good day to love others. Woo! Ouch. Should love be kept from anyone simply because we have insecurities? To give love, we must not only allow it to flow through us, not attempt to own it or sense some false completeness or personal perfection before exuding it. Love is perfect. We do not need to be. Somebody, y'all know that we need some flames right there. Love is perfect. We don't need to be. It is selfish and silly to believe that we must love every aspect of who we are to appreciate and adore any aspect of someone else. Surely it should be our aim to accept and love ourselves, but we can equally disdain any of our peculiar attitudes or behaviors that steal from our freedom, happiness, and connection with others. If we don't like something about ourselves, we can change it. If we don't like something about ourselves, we can change it. But we needn't await its repair before we fix that great light of love onto others. We shall not wait for the splendid, mythical, bright day when we are perfect and always bursting with happiness before allowing our own ray of divinity to shine through to others. So to open oneself and to release love is the highest act of courage and the highest freedom. Few among us will have such divine intent or be so brave or on a consistent basis, but ours must be a different destiny from that of the bitter, weak, or inattentive. If we wish to be a person of greatness, it will require a stunning release of love into the world. So let us choose to live a life defined by love. Let us meet the eyes of all and send this message through our thoughts and deeds. I wish nothing but joy and love for you all. But let us also remember that love on the human realm is more than an intention to send others. If there is no actual demonstration of active caring and regard for or from another, that we cannot give or sense human love, divine love, surely as it is all around, but love for or from another must be sensed through action, not intent. Love is an action word. So thinking that it is not love, giving is. Thinking is not love, giving is. Thinking is not love, giving is. Today, like all days of our lives, we have choices to make about what kind of persons we'll be and how we'll interact with the world. We can meet others with no intention or care, or we can meet them with disregard or bitterness, or we can meet them with profoundly loving intent and fire, a full and vibrant energy that reminds them once more of the spectacular abundance of love and divinity in this world. Which choice we make will determine the quality of our lives, the depth of our relationships, and the hope of our human family. This ends the 7th declaration, that we shall amplify love. And I can't believe it. We got through it. Next week, we will start at declaration number 8. We shall inspire greatness. I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the only ones among you who will really be happy are those who will have sought and found how to serve. Sought and found how to serve. Oh my goodness. I already know that that's going to be powerful. I talk about serving all the time. So listen, I pray that you were impacted and you enjoyed what we shared with you today in the Motivation Manifesto, and that you remind people to get on this book club on Mondays. We want to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and that you use those hashtags BookTube, Goodreads, and BookTok. We want you to put that in your hashtags for me. Y'all see it right there on the screen. Making sure that you are subscribed to this channel. And then we want to make sure that we are connected on all of our fronts, right? You want to make sure that you are following me on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, right? The Real Nina Moorer. It's on the screen. I am consistent on all of my platforms. You're either going to see Nina Moorer, or you're going to see the Wellness Queen, or you're going to see them both. This is my main Facebook page, Nina Rochelle Moorer. You do not need to be friends with me on both of my pages. I have a backup page, the Nina Moorer page, for just in case this page ever gets shut down. All right. And then you want to make sure that we are connected on TikTok, Nina Moorer, the Wellness Queen. All right, the Wellness Queen. And then you guys, this Saturday, not next Saturday, but this Saturday, I am so excited about our April Bible study, which will be held at the Atlanta Key Firm. You see the address right there, 1820 Water Place, Southeast, Suite 270, which you're going to look for the building that has the 270 on it, and you will see us there. We're going to have a clothing swap this Saturday. Registration is free. The event is free. You guys can give an offering if you want. Leave a donation, right? Because you do get fed. But we're gonna have a clothing swap, and all we're saying is bring 3 new or used clothing items and or accessories. We plan on bringing you a ton of things so that we can share those items with you all. We don't want to take anything back with us. We're gonna have a really, really good time. All right. It starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, we're pretty much just about at capacity. If you have not registered, please run and register. Okay. Run and get registered so that you can be with us this Saturday here in Georgia. It's right smack dab in Marietta, which is convenient to people that are in all parts of Georgia. Again, we want to make sure that you are letting people know that this is the place to be Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I pray that you enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a blingtastic evening. Have a blingtastic week. Pay it forward. do a good deed, be kind to one another, and always remember that God loves you, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I'll see you next Monday.